Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about, no, you know it, more about this. When the supply of racists are very low, you need to, provide what the community needs, racists. But since you can't actually find them, you do the next best thing, which is what the commies in China do. Bootlegged. Yes, you go full bootleg and you create your own fake racismus. So, we have another crazy lunatic, because that's the only word you can actually describe these bigoted little lunatics who likes to project their insecurities and fragility onto everybody else. So, here we have another one. The constant attack that the game is receiving. This land is my land is definitely being attacked by these nobodies who have nothing better to do with their lives. And apparently I do not either, because quite frankly I wasted way too much time trying to censor the bullshit that is moron collected to prove the developers are racist. And I went through his evidence and I found nothing racist in there. I actually found it hilarious, a couple of jokes about casinos. Yeah, I think he's just scoping his own head. Maybe he's getting quite too savage to my own taste. Well, time to go native on his bunghole and let me off my reservation, because I'm definitely going to make fun of this retarded bullshit. So, without ado, let's go on and deal with it, because I actually had to edit his entire Google Slides thing to censor, because, well, if you're going to partake in the cancel culture, you actually need the names of the people to partake in that cancel culture. Since I do not want to do that, I've decided to censor everything, including the name of the retard. So this is what the moron says. I'm gonna see, what voice do you think this moron projects? Let me go on and think. This land is my land. It's a game where you play as Native American chief, as the dev calls them, that sneaks around slaughtering white settlers to take back their land. Many in the community and certain native people had been involved in the development process, but it turns out this is not the case. It doesn't matter if they were involved or not. You don't go on some Asian developer or somewhere else where they develop a game based on European culture. You don't require that. Just consult the box, maybe a historian here or there, but overall, don't give a shit. Why would you care about that? Why do you need to actually involve a community, a group of people on your product? You don't need to. For instance, Ghost of Tsushima, a Western developer, there's a cat force somewhere around here, and it's wreaking havoc on my eyeballs. But you don't actually need that. You just need to show the product. If you're making it historical, make it historical, and if it's historical, done. There's no problem with that. I don't see any issues with that. So, anyway, let's go finish. Now, the developer is getting rid of criticism that the game is insensitive due to it being made by 4 Ukrainians. They don't believe in cultural appropriation, neither do I, because without cultural appropriation, you do not develop other cultures. For instance, without cultural appropriation, jazz would never ever exist. And without jazz, you would never ever had rock. Exactly. So, what are your words about cultural appropriation, you little moron? Without cultural appropriation, you'll get nothing. Without cultural appropriation, you would still have people from Africa or the natives in all Latin America wearing, I don't know, just a banana hammock or just some frilly skirt walking around. Are you retarded? Well, that's a rhetorical question. We already know you're retarded, so Oh, and by the way, if the moron decides to criticize the video or me, I'm gonna use my Latino privilege and call him a racist if he does so. Hey, they made the rules. It's only right that I get to use some of these rules and enforce them on themselves. It's the correct and right thing to do. Anyway, let's see, where was I? They don't believe in cultural appropriation. I have no interest in working with any native organizations. In fact, they are censoring, so it appears that native support far outweighs the critics on their Discord, which is almost entirely how they engage with their community. I've included some screenshots to provide some evidence of this. And FYI, the evidence is not there. He included these screenshots, but there's nothing in there that suggests even remotely problematic content. Alright, let's go on. A developer claims that you don't need to get feedback from native communities since they have native players of the game. These people, the same players, got banned if they criticize the game on Discord. It's the only one to provide feedback. Well, let me put it this way, the SJW moronic retard of a twat-waffle who doesn't know the difference between a dingleberry and a large shit, albeit the quantity, but still, or he doesn't know the difference between his ears and his bunghole. That's how retarded he is. The person who is offended by a bunch of pixels, and the person who is definitely mad over all of this, is in pink. The other SJW that I spotted here is on a darker shade of pink. But overall, that's it. The developers are in red. The random Discord users, players in general, are in white, as you can see. And if they have a specific rank or something, I've added them in yellow, but made no difference either way, I just separated them. And the moderators are in very bright green, or green screen green, but who knows. Anyway, here we have the moron writing, "Hey, please let me know if I've done anything. Could you confirm if the native people were consulted with the game?" Who wants to bet this moron here is an actual white dude who is getting offended by proxy, because SJWs, the overwhelming majority of them, are like that, and the other majority, and the other part who are actually part of the demographic who are supposed to be offended, are in there for grifting purposes only. I know, I've talked to quite a few of them, and as a Latino, I find that amusing. And quite frankly, I think I didn't bring enough coffee again. The retard. Let's see. Hello, Orange. Thank you for expressing any concern you might have. The only thing I see you have done wrong is telling telling other trolls and to get lost. Prefer not to do that. The answer to this question is located in our In addition to that, we are always open to feedback and suggestions on the game from our fans and any Native Americans, who we happen to have a lot within the community. Exactly, and the overwhelming majority of natives that that I have played or even voiced their concerns support the game, and the vast majority of players find no problem with the game. And the more I read about the game, the more it makes me want to buy the game. The more it's looking quite an interesting game, let me put it this way, because yeah, and I'm gonna take a page out of these morons' books. If you want the game the way you want it, why don't you shut up, plunk your ass, and code it yourself? Make your own fucking game. Exactly. This game is not for you, you pink bar. Ish. Eh? Okay. Anyway, our channels and team is very open to that. That is why we have such a Discord server. I also want to emphasize that T-Lim is not a historical simulation nor claimed as one. Check fact. No tribe is also named or specifically directly represented in the game, because that is not right nor what the game is about. And yes, we are aware of the links you sent. These articles were written around the early access release, and we fully respect their opinion, although they are not the ones we agree with, and we believe they do not understand what the game is nor have maintained their pages and articles in a positive manner. Just as there are 3 random sites that talk about the game negatively, we also have many, in fact hundreds, who say great things about the game, including Native Americans who are in this Discord following our socials and actually playing the game. Thanks. I couldn't have asked for a better reply. The guy actually did his job. He wrote, he was very polite, he did everything he could and tried to explain to the moron, but apparently the moron is too much of a moron to actually understand it. And let me put it this way, as at the beginning of the slide he shows, the natives were quite violent. No wonder they were called savages. No single tribe, no single civilization, no single anything in mankind's entire history of the entire planet, from the very moment we pumped out over some primate, well, we are still primate, but you get what I mean. To this very moment, no single group is 100% pure innocent or never committed a single violence. Even my tribe, which is the part of the Jews, are 100% innocent. They still committed atrocities in the past. The same thing for every single European, African tribe, civilization, everywhere around the world, including natives. Fuck me! Even the natives, the Apache versus Comanche or whatever, they would actually commit atrocities against one another. Scalping, hurting, raping, things like that. Those things were common. Do you think they were just so, brave, little innocent, little natives? No. Alright. Here you claim to have gotten some counseling, which is opposite to what everything else has said. I'm pretty sure they were lying just to calm people down. I see no issue whatsoever, they said. They showed it here. They have multiple people, actual natives, commenting about the game, and they liked it. I see no issue to claim that this is some sort of counseling, or at least getting their opinions. Either way, let's move on. The pink bar is a retard, so you know that. I would love to see some with permission use folklore to inspire objectives. Also digging up dead Indian bullions. New hidden loot mechanics seems very horrible in my humble opinion. Sorry, but it's not natives' burial. It's a buried treasures hidden by settlers. See, it shows this guy doesn't seem to understand. He claims to actually having played the game, but from what I've been seeing, he doesn't seem that way. Or if he did, he might be a bit of a sir bum over a loser who never paid attention. And then again, why is it the problem? Only now this game has become a problem. This game has been out since what, 2019? I've wish listed it since the moment I became aware of the game. Obviously, my funds to actually fund these things is pretty much tied on the extreme of necessities, including feeding myself with meat, because that thing is absolutely bloody expensive. To put it into perspective, you never even saw supermarkets of here selling pig's feet, tails, or pig skin, ever. And since the prices of meat has started to increase, you started to see those parts of the pork being sold. And pretty much at the prices that meat used to be a couple of years ago. Yes, that's how bad things are. But go on. Anyway, let's go take a look. Actually, quite a long time ago, we had a talk with a couple of native communities, public relations speakers, and they've said nothing bad about the game. And then, here we have the darker pink. The game happens in the 19th century. You are aware of this, right? Later on, that's a sort of suggesting that the actual natives. Oh yeah, there you go. The developers gives a thumbs up to comment that tells them to ignore any feedback they don't like in their feedback section. Not only is the post allowed, in contrast, the sites have comments removed and are banned so they can't give any more feedback. This happened to me, and I thought I was part of the mass ban. Conveniently, the people actually using anti-native hate speech didn't even get their comments removed. Proof later. I don't see anything problematic. You're pretty much causing you're trolling. You're trying to create racism where it doesn't exist, just so you can grift. That's the problem. So much nonsense hatred from Twitter SJWs today. I agree. They are people who doesn't have anything better to do. Twitter is a bubble. It's an echo chamber. Because Twitter decided to ban everybody right of Mao, or right of Stalin, or right of Hitler, and it went down the drain pretty fast. Centrists, people center-right, and even right-wing people were banned by the droves. And so we have it. But I think this game is good and deserves all the support. I agree. Don't get discouraged by entitled, hateful brats. In fact, their attempt on cancelling the game led to even bigger support and sold copies. Agreed. And now the game has become very, very interesting in my opinion, especially because now I'm reading more about the mechanics that I wasn't aware in the past. So let's see. Similarly, liking by game developers implementing this to stay up. These people cannot be pleased. The best way to deal with them is to ignore them. Absolutely agree, and never ever ever apologize to these morons. Don't apologize, just ignore them. They have no real power, just a loud mouth. Soon they'll get bored and will crawl back to their Twitter. Absolutely correct. They will crawl back to that nonsensical bullshit, or they may even crawl back to racist era. Anyway, I was banned for saying this, and I also experienced intense harassment from the community. Others were banned for simple, not offensive feedback, including later. Well, you consider harassment criticism to your own opinions? You consider harassment people flinging your own shit, the shit you flung to other people back at you. That means you're an absolute little fragile little snowflake. Somebody who's so fragile that I think the internet was a mistake for you to get access to. Maybe you shouldn't even have access to the internet if this is what you claim to be. If you claim to be harassment. I think you're pretty much of a retard. And stop smelling your own farts, because I think it's not doing good for your brain. Or your sensitivities. Maybe you needed to be bullied. You were in school. Maybe you'll develop a bigger backbone or a thicker skin. Who knows? Anyway, let's go on and read what this retard wrote. That earned him a ban. Weird how when I make a comment like this from the other side to get banned. But you do so and the desk gives you a thumbs up. Do you realize you are publicly agreeing you are going to ignore all feedback here, right? If this comment is removed, I have screenshots of it. Look at that, I have a screenshot. I'm gonna blackmail you later. Let's see. People cannot be pleased. The best way to deal with them is to ignore them. Don't apologize. That was completely normal. Nothing to ban here. Are you a reset era moderator for any reason at all? Or are you a Reddit moderator? Let's go. And he named names because otherwise this wouldn't be cancel culture. And are still not banned, and their political hate speech comments are... Oh, sorry. I forgot his voice. Are still not banned, and their political hate speech comments are still up. This is a violation of one of their rules. And these guys said that the game is about casinos and rename a village casino. Let's say. Many probably haven't bought the game yet, and they soon have to be to contribute to our knowledge base. Yeah, keep it simple, Simon. Good. Just so you know, this one is not his name. Good luck finding the Discord before you get the game. I thought the game was about spawning your casino. That's actually hilarious. I love it. But unfortunately, it's not. It's about expanding your lands that will eventually become casinos, where you can actually grift the government, the American government, to build bigger and bigger casinos, where you can, instead of scalping people, you actually scalp their wallets. Yeah, pretty much like that. Oh, boy. And all of that within your own reservation, without having to go out of your reservation. Yeah! See, I'm making a lot of jokes about natives. Anyway. Wait, I thought the game was about... alright? Well, that's just... You think that's funny? Well, yeah, I actually think that's hilarious. I just made a joke about it again, because that's how hilarious I think it is. Is this guy an absolute moron? Well, yes. Those articles were not very great. The second one was also on top of just trying to induce rage, pointed, linking and funded, and later on, yes, not comprehensive, but asking 3 or 4 times to at least provide feedback is far better than nothing. Zoom or Google Meet doesn't matter that they are in Europe. It's no harder than making an email template and reaching out. Well, if you are not native, I don't see a problem why you're getting offended over this. But I also don't see... I don't see why the developers should waste money in trying to do this. Just, you know... also here, see, it's about casinos! Oh, sorry, I'll see here, it's about casinos. I think you guys need to calm down. Yeah. Hey, please let me know if I've done anything. Can you also confirm if any native people were consulted with the game? Well, I wonder if this moron here got triggered when developers from other races make games about the other cultures, especially European, white culture and everything else. Obviously he doesn't. But, moving on. And, I'm still not banned. I did political hate speech. Comments are still up. This is a violation of one of the rules. You're truly an idiot. I have not pitched that there are no casinos in game. Okay. That is not okay. Well, okay, that is not okay. It comes full circle. You know the 5th time mission. 5 holes? Oh, someone made a casino joke? Could you? Are we just showing your true intent? And more naming because that's how this moron operates. I'm still not banning the political hate speech comments are still up. This is a violation with one of the rules. So the developers are getting dream of it. Why won't you listen to me? Damn, son, you're such a cute troll. Can I pet you? Actually, that's a good one. I might actually end up using it against him because he's actually talking to me. That's how triggered the guy is. He went one of the videos I shared about the game and he's all over the Reddit community. But yeah. Anyway, do you go into zombie game discords and ask if they consulted with Democrats and Biden supporters before they designed their game? Holy fuck, that's actually awesome. You have been making your point for over a week and still can't find anyone that cares. Such a dedicated little fellow you are. Good times, good trolls. Holy fuck, that's actually fucking awesome. That's a joke that I wish I could have made something like that. Really, that's actually kind of awesome. Oh, and the dude that was talking about that they started to get triggered over his imperial Japanese flag. Like I said, these people are all about projections. They actually think this is racist or something like that. Fucking morons. So moving on. I thought it took the mechanism why it's still up. The moderators immediately remove my comments, but they not do so for these folks in hate speech against critics. No, because the res saying the N-word not enough times. Please consider. Sorry, I was joking. The constant a lot to a single yike to your cause. Saying N-word not enough times.
The dev have you back. Don't you want to write harassment have gone completely unchecked.
Seriously, that's how I imagine he sounds like. And now he, well, actually, he kind of does it, but I listened to some of his videos and it's actually kind of soyish, his voice. But the more, but I think that's how he acts in real life.
Why didn't you listen to me?
Anyway, the dev says,
the dev said it's not based on racist characters. Who is this based on? He provided a random picture of a naval base.
And as you realized, another street update, that's a terrible comment. Yeah. Moving on. A feedback was removed and...
My feedback was removed and the dev said he would ban anyone else for being in the app. The real reason why I was banned. I was definitely how they call all the players in Discord chiefs.
Well, Chief, if you're not a moron, then what are you? A retard. Which is pretty much almost the same thing. You retard, absolute retard. Anyway, let's read.
Awesome, the game is more good than bad. It just needs some feedback. Native Americans will call this. That you might as well teach on the Redskins. Insensitive like this prove you haven't reached out to any tribal leadership.
Well, I don't necessarily care. Moving on. Moving on. If you want, you can actually pause the video and read it yourself, albeit it's gonna be cut. Partly cut, but what can you do? It's goddamn filthy. Google Slides. Anyway.
At one point, the community moderator told me I hadn't done anything wrong, but later was banned and not giving a reason. They didn't ban me, but then, when I brought out my concerns again, they didn't ban me without an answer.
Well, I think there's a reason why they banned you again, because you once again started to troll. Once again, you started to bother people. Once again, you started to act like a goddamn fucking twat. So, you get a twat treatment, which is getting banned. Who cares?
On the following slides is a conversation with the developer where he claims the cultural appropriation is not a thing, and if it was, they can't afford to pay for native consultation, nor do they want it.
Well, they can't afford it, they're small indie developers. Unless you actually want to pay for it, go right ahead. Why don't you just get your monthly wages so you pay for the consultations for the devs? Why don't you do that? Why it has to come from the developers? You're the one having problems with this? Go right ahead. When I have a problem with a game, when I find it absolutely retarded, I don't just buy it. I ignore it. Kind of like what happened with Avengers. I mocked the shit out of it. I enjoyed that it's failing badly. It went woke and it's now going broke. I enjoy it. But do I actually go on right ahead and demand them to pay somebody to make a consultation? Yeah. I just don't buy the product. Simple as that. The only time I actually do get absolutely irritated when it happens is when I actually already bought the product, or somebody already bought the product, and then the developers decide to change the game to fit the requests of retards like this dude over here.
You better find some way to prove your work to your external communities, because I doubt they will have told to keep using the term like chief anyway.
You can't even pronounce chief without... Look, you even made a typo. That's racist, dude. Using your own logic, typing like that is racist.
You did anything, it was clearly not enough. You better hope they have your back as well once I reach out to those tribes. I'm gonna cancel you. I'm gonna cancel you. And can do so publicly. This bad NDA wants that fighting beta. I'm pretty sure he is going to stop you developers, you evil developers. Also, for information, those people making the racist jokes did not get banned, and I did. That also don't look good for you. I have the power of the internet, and I'm gonna release it to you.
Honestly, I don't see any reason why me or someone from our team needs to spend time to convince someone with something. I agree. We've made a nice piece of art in form of a game, where we have put my ideas and my vision, and we haven't broke any laws. So telling us what we should do is not really legit. It is our art, which never mentioned to be historically accurate. One thing though, I need to investigate why you have been banned and tell the team to ban you if the ban reason is not valid, because you are a very, very valuable supporter for us. Look, the developer is being so respectful to this dude, and look at how he acts.
Because it's cultural appropriation. Because the definition, what is your definition of cultural appropriation? How do you think it is okay?
Cultural appropriation is ephemeral value. No one can actually say it is or not. Imagine a company which makes a game about a city in a country which is in an active warfare with the other country. In the last 4 years, more than 8,000 people died in this war. Would it be cultural appropriation? Of course, this company will rename the city, but will leave everything else.
Cultural appropriation when people's culture are used by other group of make money.
Now, in that case, jazz is also need to be cancelled, because the people who made jazz not only culturally appropriated the culture of Europeans, and they also used it to make money. Rock as well. Oh boy, we have a very big of a pickle over here. Exactly, example above, about the war. It's a conflict between two cultures. Okay, war is
bad, but genocide over hundreds of years, that's a different scale.
Well, don't you pretend that the natives didn't actually commit genocide against other tribes. They actually did that too, to other tribes. They were pretty violent. Now you think they were all dandy singing Kumbaya, my love, Kumbaya, while holding hands to each other? That's an absolute moron. Because if you think that... Anyway, let's move on. Especially because my nose is starting to act up. My respiratory system is an SJW or a diversity higher. As you know, it needs to be taken care of. Anyway, because as a Ukrainian citizen, I can tell you that this game has zero correlation with reality. I imagine this guy would have a problem with SCS developers having developed Iberia or Italy or anything like that without actually being Italian citizens or going there more than the usual research. Anyway,
no, because it's
No, because it's their vision, it's their game. We can vote with a wallet and complain, and we are not Russia, which banned the whole Call of Duty series because of one mission. That's the difference, and that's why we are in war with Russia.
Well, it's not a campaign to raise awareness. I didn't know, and I was upset to hear this company soon use the suffering others to make money.
I don't give a shit. If that was the case, I'm pretty sure my people would stand against our multiple games talking about World War II, although my part of the tribe didn't actually get killed in the World War II. Mine was responsible for, well, using as cinder blocks for the Inquisition fires. Yeah, we were burned during the Inquisition, but the details. Of course not, even if they all say that, yes.
Well, you're entitled to give your opinion.
Because as a Ukrainian citizen, I can tell you that this game has zero correlation with reality. No, because it's the original... Does it really matter? If the game has wrong concepts, it doesn't. If the game is okay, it doesn't matter too. So what's the real reason? Our fans play the game, not politics, not Twitter fights. Absolutely correct. You have been told your game has stereotypes. Yes, but now saying that we have had a chat and will change this. Okay, you have stereotypes, but you have talked with consoles, so it's fine.
You might modify some of the game to make it less insensitive.
Have you ever been on a reservation? No, neither have I. But we are going off the reservation with this retard of a dude with a pink title, with a pink bar. Holy Jesus Christ.
You should fix this game before it got to this level.
No, a game should be fun and interesting. That's the description of the game. Exactly. Well, apparently I'm gonna get triggered because Sea Dogs is a game about the Caribbean. Talking about European expansion, talking about the natives in there, and was made by Russians, which have nothing to do with the Caribbean. So, time to cancel Sea Dogs. Alright, it's not racist and never was.
You don't get to say that out there for me when you haven't even set foot on a reservation. Violent, bloodthirsty savages routing white people in their sleep.
Well, yeah, they have done that. The past.
That could have easily used to describe your game. I'm gonna say some all Western tribes because in your mind they're all the same.
Well, I don't see any problem because developers in multitude of games and movies and things like that have also homogenized European culture, Latino culture and everything. It's actually normal, especially because you're not making a game that includes multiple tribes with multiple differences, with multiple things. Even Age of Empires 3 also did that, and they also tried to whitewash some of their histories. For instance, their necessity of claiming that there's no... that the natives never actually mined any minerals out of the mountain. Meanwhile, you actually have natives mining minerals and creating mines and destroying mountains and mountains to build their cities. There's quite a few famous cities in America where they built beautiful cities inside mountains. Oh no. And besides, they are making you play as a native. Imagine how this dude would get triggered if you are playing as a colonial. Let's see, anything interesting? Defended the game because of this, and I have...
No, you haven't.
Jesus Christ.
I think the developer so I was able to reach out to him like the first time, but this time he immediately turned his activity status to await and blocked me instead of giving me an answer. They've continued to ignore me and refuses to explain why I was banned.
I'm busy working. Last week I had to close to no time to work on code, and being a single programmer on a game, I can't spend much time in the Discord. We have a mod team which can handle requests. I agree!
How this started with putting out a racist post by another user which you completely ignored and still in your Discord does this can look you bad.
Is this model really thinks that the entire life you spend on policing Discord? Go fuck yourself. God, this guy is retarded. But this guy here, as you know, is definitely very retarded because, yeah, it's not the first time he actually partakes in cancel culture. I obviously censored his name as well in here. He's replaced by Woke-tard. Well, it's actual tag, but his name should be here. And remember, even if you find out who he is or anything like that, please do not contact the guy, do not talk to him, do not look at him, do not even criticize his ideas. Because anything like of the sort is considered harassment to these people. They are so very fragile that even say, no, I disagree with you, is considered a death threat. So please, stay far away from these people. Here he is, nagging and talking to people. This is my thread, obviously, but here's the example I want to give, that this is not the first time that he has done so. Here, it obviously getting cut, but as you can see, censor for YouTube, well, it had the N word. I actually had to censor it. But either way, as you can see, he's actually targeting the moderators of the Reddit community of Comanche. And obviously his post got deleted because it was about doxing and harassment and things like that. He has zero self-awareness. But this is the kind of people we are dealing with here. There's not much one can do but point out and laugh at their face. And this is where I call it end. Hopefully this is the last time I actually have to talk about nonsensical bullshit targeting this game, which in my opinion I'm starting to look really, really good by the time it goes on. Either way, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. YouTube absolutely hates my ass, so go fuck yourself, YouTube. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a no. If you want spicy content, head to bitchute.com/Dr. Jester or minds.com/Dr. Jester for the spicy content and giggity stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a very, very good night. And be thankful that you're not as retarded as that dude. Take care.